And, why historically, Jack, this charity it was important to Harry, and it's such a pity that he's not going to be connected to it anymore.
I do think that he will do something because his heart and soul is there with his mum in mind. And the charity, Sentebale, may carry on, may do okay, but I can't see it doing as well.
Well, Jack, this is what they're...
In a world where deception often masquerades as truth and where the innocent are falsely accused while the guilty walk free, we witness a powerful reminder that righteousness will ultimately triumph. Today's episode brings you a story of vindication, of truth prevailing over lies, and of how one person's malicious agenda can threaten the very foundation of charitable work meant to help the most vulnerable children. This is not just another celebrity scandal. This is a tale of integrity versus manipulation, of genuine compassion versus selfish ambition, and ultimately of how the truth has a way of setting the record straight when all seems lost. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another explosive episode of Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm your host Adrian, and today we're diving deep into a story that has shocked supporters, vindicated the innocent, and exposed the true nature of those who seek to destroy rather than build. Before we begin, let me share with you the words of Jesus Christ himself from John 8:32, "And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." These words have never been more relevant than they are today as we discuss the Charity Commission's findings. As the great civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." Today, we're witnessing that arc bending toward justice in real time. So the Charity Commission has released their findings on Sentebale after Prince Harry resigned and Sophie Chanduka caused all of that disruptiveness. Well, what is now being revealed right now, and judging from the public's reaction to this, it just shows me that Sophie and Sentebale aren't going to last too long. The Charity Commission apparently found no evidence of widespread or systematic bullying or harassment, including misogyny at the charity or overreach, by either the chair or the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. While Sophie Chanduka accused Prince Harry of all of that, she is now being proven to be the biggest liar ever. And it's so obvious that Sophie Chanduka was just using that card of bullying and misogyny to distract people from the actual truth that she wasn't fit for Sentebale. As the Bible reminds us in Proverbs 12:22, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are his delight. This verse speaks volumes about the situation we're witnessing with Sophie Chanduka's false accusations. Let's just be honest. Ever since Prince Harry and the other trustees resigned from this charity, it's just as if the charity has been going downhill. Things haven't been going well. People have refused to donate to this charity, and even sponsors have pulled from this charity ever since Sophie took over as the chair. So this doesn't look good at all, and I'm going to show you what the public have to say concerning this after the Charity Commission's investigation, and, well, the findings of this investigation, and Prince Harry has also spoken about the findings. So in response to this, a spokesperson for Prince Harry said that, unsurprisingly, the Commission makes no findings of wrongdoing in relation to Sentebale's co-founder and former patron Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. They also found no evidence of widespread bullying, harassment or misogyny as falsely claimed by the current chair. Despite all that, their report falls troublingly short in many regards. Primarily the fact that the consequences of the current chair's actions will not be borne by her, but by the children who rely on Sentebale's support. As Maya Angelou once said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." Sophie Chanduka has shown us exactly who she is through her actions and behaviour. This situation reminds me of another powerful scripture from Proverbs 26:27. "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and a stone will come back on him who starts it rolling." Sophie tried to dig a pit for Prince Harry with her false accusations, but instead she has fallen into it herself. Also adding, both Prince Harry and Prince William are devastated by what has effectively been a hostile takeover by Sophie Chanduka. Yes, it was a hostile takeover. And you can see here that following her absurd response to the Charity Commission's investigation, Sophie Chandawuka then proceeded to close off the comments. Like, if she really thinks she is right and that she hasn't done anything wrong, then why is she behaving this way? It's because she knows she is absolutely wrong and she can see the outrage out there. And apparently, Prince Harry and Prince William see no way of them ever coming back. At least, if Sophie is still the chair of Sentebale, and from what I see, Sophie isn't going to step back. She's going to hold on to this title or onto this charity as if her life depends on it. So this just speaks doom, like the charity is doomed, honestly. And I love that they were actually critical of the Charity Commission's findings about Sentebale. Like what happened to Sophie Chanduka employing people that were actually family members? What happened to Sophie Chanduka mismanaging funds at Sentebale? I didn't see the report talking about that. I haven't seen the report talking about a lot of things, even including Sophie requesting or actually demanding for a £300,000 salary. Like I didn't see them investigating all of that. You mean they only investigated what Sophie accused Prince Harry of? It doesn't make sense at all. And I think people are even more angry about that. Well, according to me, it just seems like there are some very powerful people behind all of this because the investigation should have been two-way. They should have also investigated Sophie for her wrongdoings, but it seems like they did not do that. The second Bible verse that comes to mind is from Luke 8:17. For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. The truth about Sophie's actions will eventually come to light, no matter how much she tries to hide it. As Eleanor Roosevelt wisely observed, great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. It's clear that Sophie's small mind focused on destroying people rather than discussing the great ideas that could help vulnerable children. And well, as you heard from that GB News segment, you can just see that so many people don't have faith in Sophie Chanduka and her taking leadership of Sentebale. Even the man said that he doesn't think Sentebale is going to perform the same way as long as Prince Harry isn't there to support it, especially financially. So yeah, people know that Prince Harry was the one who was holding Sentebale and keeping it afloat, but now it seems like everything has just been ruined. Winston Churchill once said, "The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end there it is." This perfectly describes what we're seeing with Prince Harry being vindicated while Sophie's malicious accusations have been exposed. And well, let me just read you a few responses from people concerning this. So globally on X, Prince Harry cleared on bullying by the UK Charity Commission report on the Sentebale hostile takeover. However, the report is very odd. It totally ignores Prince Harry and Prince William's concerns of financial mismanagement by Sophie Chanduka, and focuses on how the dispute should have been resolved in private and roles should have been more clearly defined. Nothing about the volunteer chairperson's refusal to step down when she lost the confidence of the trustees and patrons. I think any UK body investigating a matter involving Prince Harry will be compromised by other forces where there is a malicious establishment interested. I'm glad Harry will look to other ways to support Sentebale children because Sophie and her trustees will destroy it, and I trust Harry will ensure any such organisation, any new organisation, is not registered in the UK and therefore not beholden to UK forces. Maybe a blessing in disguise, right? It's so obvious that there are forces behind all of this because there's no way they actually failed to investigate Sophie Chanduka's actions. Also, I Am Sage commented saying, so Sophie Chanduka lied. She got exposed for lying, and yet the Charity Commission didn't bother investigating misuse of funds and instead looked into the way grievances are handled. Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to figure out this was yet again a stitch-up. The Charity Commission's findings were bare bones, according to Harry. Don't tell me a chairperson misuses funds and then is allowed to keep her voluntary role. Like Harry said, the only people who suffer are the kids. There is foul play here, and the only people who are going to suffer at the end of it all are the children. Remember, Sophie has tried to beg people for money for HIV and AIDS, which is something she had already said wasn't a problem in Lesotho. Yet even with all that begging, people refused to pay. People refused to fundraise to her cries. And at the end of like 3 weeks, she only raised like $274, which is such a shame when people trusted Harry. They could donate millions and millions of dollars, but now only $274 in like 1 month. That was such a shame. And while other people are now starting to say that Sophie Chanduka needs to go, and more people are continuing to advocate for others not to donate to Sentebale, again, because Sophie obviously is proving to be a fraud. So let me read you some of the comments. So someone says Sophie needs to go to jail. Yeah, that is where people like Sophie belong, because she took over Sentebale in such a hostile way. And then someone else is like, Lesotho and Botswana government should ban that woman from operating in those countries. She must go. No one should donate to the charity. Right. They should actually ban this woman from operating in these countries because she is proving to be one person who is very selfish and also not a very good person. So if she's allowed to continue operating, then it's going to affect charities in a very bad manner. And then someone else said, the good news is that in case the two princes start a new charity in Lesotho, we are going to donate £1 billion within 24 hours. Wait for it, yeah. If they actually decide to do that, then we are going to donate a lot. And then someone else, Chanduka needs to go, right? She needs to go. And honestly, she needs to be locked up in jail and the key thrown away because people like Sophie only belong in jail. As Nelson Mandela wisely said, there is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Prince Harry has shown this passion in his dedication to helping children, while Sophie seems content to play small and self-serving games. This entire situation brings to mind the words from 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It's through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs. Sophie's apparent obsession with financial gain and control has led her down a destructive path. And then someone else was like, toxic Chanduka needs to resign and repay the money she siphoned off to her friends. What an evil woman. We knew from the time she opened her mouth she was poisonous. Yeah, the woman is so poisonous and she continues to be that way. And then someone else, I'm so disgusted, but Sophie should be ashamed. Not only did they find the board and Harry not guilty of any type of bullying or misogyny, but she has to start this charity from scratch after everyone with pockets left. Harry and Prince William will rebuild. Well, good luck to Sophie trying to source funds because it seems everyone has literally abandoned her on this. No one is supporting Sentebale again. And then someone else even asked, how can one start requesting her resignation legally? Well, I guess we need to research on that because, yeah, she needs to resign. The kids are suffering. Harry has the best interest of these kids at heart, and he wants to see the kids being helped. But Sophie only wanted to help herself. And then someone else was like, if you are a supporter who was a regular donor, unsubscribe to the emails. She's going to cry for money. We'll have to find a different way to donate to the kids. Sophie is so cancelled. I don't want to see her face again. Yes, cancelled, cancelled, cancelled. No one wants to hear anything that Sophie has to say from now onwards because this woman is so selfish. And I think people had already unsubscribed to those emails and they weren't giving a dime to Sophie Chanduka. And I hope it continues that way to the point where she actually isn't able to run the charity anymore and has to give up. And another person even said, however Harry wants to help those children, we will help. Yeah, if he starts another way in which people can actually help these kids, then we will be there to help. We will put our hearts and minds into that. Also, someone else, Sophie, just wanted them out. Please find other ways to help kids and stop sending her money. Anyone who knew about this charity knew Prince Harry was completely innocent, as were the other members of the board. Get this woman out and bring everyone back. And yeah, as you can see, people are literally cancelling Sophie Chanduka. Don't want anything to do with her. And they're like, if Harry is going to start a new charity, then we are going to support him 100%. But as long as Sophie Chanduka is on that chair, then we aren't giving a dime. That is how serious people are. And they also want Sophie to resign from this. Honestly, it's just so bad. Anyway, let me know what you think about the Charity Commission's findings, because for me, I didn't like it at all. I think they should have done better by also investigating Sophie Chanduka's mismanagement of funds and every other thing that she has done to bring Sentebale down. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Then I'll see you on the next episode of Meghan and Harry Tales. Bye.